Even today, you have people talking on the same terms. When the whole financial crisis happened, there was a conversation, should the government bail the people out? Should the government not bail the people out? And a lot of the people were like, it's Darwinian economics. Let the poor people who have foreclosures, don't help them. They deserve that. And this wasn't said in one place, this was said throughout. It's the attitude towards the poor in society. It's the attitude of how the elite looks at itself. That if you were like us, you would be like us. But since you're in a miserable state, you deserve to be in a miserable state. What is the mindset and the workings and how do the elite think in relationship to the public? This is the essence of the argument, that what he is saying, he's saying I'm right because this is the natural order of things. The weak get destroyed. The weak animals, the smaller fish, will get eaten up. It's okay if it happens. Let the best civilization survive. And so if there is a clash of civilization, it's okay. Let's just do away with their misery. When Madam Albright, the one who was the Secretary of State for Bill Clinton, when she was asked that, do you think it was worth it for 1 million kids to die in Iraq with the US policies, what was her answer? Yes, absolutely. How do you think a human being justifies so easily the killing of millions of people? How do you think a human being justifies it? He justifies it because in his mind or her mind, it is for the greater good. This is one group of elitist mentality, which is the people that are not well-to-do, it's okay. You don't need to help them. The result of this mentality is the following. I'm going to read this page and then I'm going to discuss it a little bit. At the beginning of the 21st century, when the rich world is enjoying the benefits of scientific and medical research and looking forward to long, prosperous lives, it is difficult to comprehend why so much of the world's population still go hungry, which is 1 in 5. Every person, 1 in 5 in the world go what? Hungry. The statistics tell us a problem of immense proportions. 800 million go hungry every day. 2 billion people suffer from chronic malnutrition. 18 million people die each year from hunger-related diseases. 2 billion people suffer from micronutrient deficiencies, which lead to chronic health problems. Around half of the deaths of children under the age of 5, which is about 10 million a year, are associated with malnutrition. The death of these people does not occur because of food shortages. It's not that human beings haven't been able to produce enough food and then they die. That's not what happens. 2 things cause people to starve to death. Number 1 is the poor people who starve to death can't buy the food. And number 2, the second thing that happens is the people that starve to death, their food is exported somewhere else, given to somebody else. Somebody who can basically buy their food. And where is this food consumed? In developed countries, where there are also hungry people. How did this ever come about? That we can have a world where we have enough food, but people, 1/5 of the world is dying out, and it's okay, and people can justify it, and people that know that this is happening in their own countries and are selling that same food from that very country to other countries where their own people are dying, how do they justify it? They justify it with the attitudes and the likes of people like Spencer. Social Darwinism. They just think that if they can't survive, it's their problem. Why is it my problem? Why is it the problem of the elite? So this is one group of the elite. I want to go over this passage of the Qur'an that you've all gone through, but I want to put it in the light of the context of what I said. You know, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that when Allah says, وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمُ اتَّقُوا وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ أَنْفِقُوا مِمَّا رَزَقَكُمُ اللَّهُ قَالَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا أَنُطْعِمُ مَنْ لَوْ يَشَاءَ اللَّهُ. Look at the attitude. أَنُطْعِمُ, should we should feed. أَنُطْعِمُ مَنْ لَوْ يَشَاءَ اللَّهُ أَطْعَمَهُ. We should feed. We should be responsible to feed those that Allah hasn't fed. إِنْ أَنْتُمْ إِلَّا فِي ضَلَالٍ مُبِينٍ. You guys are like in the clear wrong. You guys don't know what you're talking about. Remember, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in His sunnah hasn't made one monolithic group. Okay? There are elite who care, but they work in another way, which I'll talk about. For example, in this country, the right wing thinks very much along the lines of what I have just described. The left wing thinks in a very different way, which we will talk about. There's many books that have come out on political psychology, the voting behavior, so on and so forth. Those people that are of the middle class, they want to always attach themselves to they want to have the things of the upper class. For example, in the Qur'an, when Fir'aun wanted to get something done, he went to the doctors of that time, you can say. The scientists of that time. He went to the magicians. What did the magicians say to Fir'aun? Will we be close to you? Inna lana ajra. Do we get any ajr? Do we get any reward for doing what you want? In kunna ghalibin. If we succeed in what you want, will we get a reward? So the middle class, those people that have some status within the society, they will always want to be as close as possible to the elite. And they will always say, do we have any ajr? Do we have any reward? You see, Fir'aun is like the politician par excellence in many ways. He thought that he will get the best of the magicians of his time, and he will bring them in the daylight for everyone to see. People don't realize this. Musa ﷺ showed the miracles of Allah twice. One was when he went to Fir'aun, and he showed him the staff and the bayda and showed him the ayat. But then Fir'aun wanted to challenge him. مَوْعِدُكُمْ يَوْمُ الزِّينَةِ وَأَنْ يَحْشُرَ النَّاسُ الضُّحَى. So they wanted to challenge Musa. So Musa said, okay, in the daylight where everyone is there, let the people gather and let them see what happens. Now the competition was between him and the magicians, right? And they had a competition, and Musa ﷺ won the competition. So now Fir'aun's sitting there, the whole public is there, he's embarrassed, right? So what does he say? He says, قَالَ آمَنْتُ لَهُ. You believe in him before I gave you permission? قَبْلَ أَنْ آذَنَ لَكُمْ. Now watch this. Now this is the politician talking. إِنَّهُ لَكَبِيرُكُمُ الَّذِي عَلَّمَكُمُ السِّحْرَ. He was the big magician who taught you all the magic. إِنَّهُ لَكَبِيرُكُمُ الَّذِي عَلَّمَكُمُ السِّحْرَ فَلَأُقَطِّعَنَّ أَيْدِيَكُمْ وَأَرْجُلُكُمْ مِنْ خِلَافٍ وَلَأُصَلِّبَنَّكُمْ فِي جُزْعِ النَّخْلِ. And then the conversation continues. They say, the magicians say, قَالُوا لَن نُؤْثِرَكَ عَلَى مَا جَاءَنَا مِنَ الْبَيِّنَاتِ وَالَّذِي فَطَرَنَا فَاقْضِ مَا أَنْتَ قَادٍ إِنَّمَا تَقْضِي هَذِهِ الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا. And then they say, وَمَا أَكْرَحْتَنَا عَلَيْهِ مِنَ السِّحْرِ. And the magic that you forced us to do. The magic what? You forced us to do. So when Fir'aun was asking, and they said, will you give us some reward? It was as if they had no choice, but they still wanted to get closer to the elite. They wanted to use that opportunity to get closer to the elite.